Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here with us. We are really excited to talk with you about how we can support your summer programs using our LEGO Education solutions. So, without further ado, this is our Texas team. So this morning we have Allison with us, we have Lauren with us. I'm not sure if Kim snuck in, but Kim is our other account manager that supports Texas with Allison and Lauren. And then myself, Caitlin Boleen. I am the solution architect that supports the state of Texas. So this is your Texas team. Please absolutely feel free to reach out to us at any time with any questions that you may have. Chances are, if you are in this webinar right now, you know how to get a hold of us. So don't be shy. Let us know any questions that you have or how we can support you. So we definitely first want to level set with what is our mission. At LEGO Education, our mission is to inspire and develop the builders of tomorrow, enabling every student to succeed. I go ahead and I always underline that every student to succeed part, because as a previous educator in Texas and in other states across the country, when I have used our LEGO Education solutions, it's become really apparent and really comes alive for just exactly how we can support all students. And we are going to get into the meat of that soon, but I want to level set with that that's our mission and that's what we really strive to do. It's important that if we're going to talk about what our mission is, that we also talk about what the mission of the state of Texas is. Before we do that, I do want to, none of this will be new information to you, but again, we're just level setting with what is the current state of education in the state of Texas. So let's look at a snapshot of the Texas student. 20% of all ELLs in the United States are in Texas. That is a huge number. And I have yet to find a district in the state of Texas that doesn't have a high number or a substantial number of ELLs that they are serving. We don't have our general education students and then our ELLs. Typically in the state of Texas, it's the lines are so blurred, and ELL students are the students that are in the state of Texas. And so that's something that we always need to be keeping in mind of how are we supporting. Sorry, my slides are really excited to move forward. How are we supporting all Texas students and really making sure that those supports for ELLs and those supports for our bilingual students are always in lockstep? And yes, Caitlin, I see we will definitely get you PDFs of this presentation for sure. Allison and Lauren are taking notes of who's here, and we will make sure that we get that to you. And so how are we making sure that lockstep we are supporting all students and their language needs all in the same classroom? There's over 120 languages represented in the state of Texas. I would go ahead and say that's probably a really, I would argue that there's many more than that, but we know that we have 120 on paper that are in the system, but we know that often those numbers are way under what they actually are. And again, just a really richly dense student population in the bilingual space. So many of them are emergent bilingual, and dual language programs are exploding across the state. So keeping all of this in mind and the strategic plan of TEA, how are we ensuring that every child is prepared for success, whether that be college, career, or military, and that we are supporting them in building in those skills for any which of those backgrounds that they choose. And just a little fun fact, these are my first graders just a few years ago on a trip in Texas. So always love to bring it back to my personal experiences in Texas and what I know about the Texas student when thinking about how we're supporting them. And then additionally, the TEA strategic plan, when they are thinking about supporting every child, here are some of the priorities that they have. And we are going to actually review these now and then review these at the end of the presentation so that we can be bookending exactly how those supports are in place when we are using LEGO Education solutions. So TEA wants to be sure that they are recruiting, supporting, and retaining both teachers and principals. We know that continuity is so important when we are thinking about supporting students. We want students to have predictable people that they have really strong relationships with and who they know are there to support them, and they're not having to start over with relationships each year. Building a strong foundation of reading and math. We know that that is the foundation of education. And when you have a strong foundation in there, other contents and other skills can come alive to you. Ensuring that high school is connected to career and college. So we're thinking about what's our next step, and we're not just sending students out into the world after high school, not really sure what they want to do. And then, of course, improving low performing schools. We want all schools in the state of Texas to be supporting and preparing students in not only an equal but equitable way. Lego education is for every type of learner, and we take that so seriously at Lego education. We aren't supporting students properly if we are not thinking about and supporting every student. And so when we are thinking about that, we are thinking about all ages, all abilities, and how that how our solutions work to supporting all students. And so this next slide will pull some of that together. So we want to ensure that we have accessible STEAM learning for all students in Texas. Our Lego learning materials were designed with this in mind, and I'm going to go through these a little bit more specifically. So our step-by-step intuitive system is so important. Whether or not English or another language is your first language, or maybe you have some neurodivergencies, you can perform lockstep with another peer, whether that peer is general education, whether that peer is bilingual and you don't have the same language as them, whether that peer is identified as special education and they're in the special education program. Our intuitive system supports learners to be able to make their way through the lessons without relying on or needing the English language, or and that's done in a supportive way with a partner. So very step-by-step intuitive system that ensures that students can be successful, and not only be successful, but feel successful when they're using our lessons. Appropriate pacing and differentiation suggestions. So the teacher is not alone in this. All of our lessons have pacing and differentiation strategies for the teacher built in. We are available in 21 languages. Why is that important? Well, if you are at a dual language school or your students are bilingual, biliterate, this is great because there are 21 different languages, including 2 different types of Spanish that your students can use. So if they are, if you want to provide them with the choice of, do we want to be learning encoding in English and Spanish, or we want to start with English or start with Spanish, our interface and our lessons are all available in those 21 languages. So lots of different opportunities and options there with the different languages that we provide. Additionally, the unit plans and the lesson plans are intended to be low prep but high yield for both that teacher and that student. So we want teachers to feel empowered, excited, encouraged, and not overwhelmed by the lessons that they're going to be supporting students with. And again, those lessons are teacher-facing and available to them. Once you invest in Lego education and you have purchased what I would consider just at a low level right now, the bricks, we'll go more into what the different parts of our solutions are. But once you invest in our tub of bricks and in the solution that you are purchasing, everything else is free. So with the exception of PD, which we will also talk about, the lesson plans, the app that you will be using and that students will be using, all of that is completely free and available to you at all times. You don't pay a subscription. We don't ask you for more money down the road. That is all available to you right away. So it's really good when you're thinking about how you're going to fund perhaps your summer school. This is a great way to go ahead and make an upfront purchase. And then from there, we're here to support you with PD, et cetera, but you're not having to then have any reoccurring fees that you're having to use money for. Multiple opportunities to listen, speak, read, and write. We know that when we are building language for students, not only in social, but especially in academic ways, they need to have multiple opportunities to be listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And those opportunities are built in all the way through our lessons. And then finally, we know this is top of mind. Yes, all of our lessons are aligned to the TEKS, specifically to Tech Apps, ELA, Science, and Math. That was a lot of information, but all really important to be thinking about when you are choosing and determining the direction that you'd like to go in with summer programming. Are these things and these solutions going to be able to support not only my students, but my teachers in really meaningful ways? So, this is so exciting. So I want to give you a snapshot of a summer school experience that Portland Public Schools had last summer. So last summer, Portland Public Schools came to us and they said, all right, we're all in. We want to use LEGO Education to be the anchor of our summer school programming, elementary through middle school. And let's do this. What does it look like? Let's figure it out. We said, this is great. So we supported them. We got solutions to all of their elementary and middle school sites. We chose our digital solutions that I'll share with you in a moment. And we have they just saw so much success. And I wanted to share with you just a few small data points from the success that they had. This is absolutely mind-boggling to me. Not mind-boggling, it makes sense, but it's just incredible. As a previous middle school and high school principal, it is top of mind for me, as I'm sure it is for you. Attendance, not only just during the regular school year, but also during summer school. Again, I apologize for my really excited slides. But we cannot support students if they are not coming to our programs. And what Portland Public Schools said was, our students vote with their feet. When they are walking to school and they're getting to school and they're in our classrooms, that's how we know that what we're doing is working. And their attendance from summer school 2022, where they did not use LEGO Education Solutions, to 2023, increased from 50% to 100% for the entirety of the program. And I said to the directors of that program, I need to understand, what does 100% mean? I mean, I see the number 100%, but I need to really just understand a little bit more. Do you mean, when you say 100%, do you actually mean 100%? 100% of students were attending this program. And they said, no, 100% of students were attending this program for the entirety of it. And that was just so mind-blowing. And it shouldn't be shocking, because I know how incredible and amazing and wonderful our solutions are. But when you see 100% attendance for summer school, that is just so exciting. And when we have 100% of students at summer school, then we can really make change and really support and get them ready by not only supporting their summer slide, but getting them really ready for the next school year. And so that makes me so excited. And we are really looking forward to this additional school year with them. Also, with that attendance piece, I do want to say, one of the directors of the program, she said, my child is not in summer school, but some of our neighbor children are. And my child came home all upset because his friends came home from summer school and said, how come you're not at Lego camp? Lego camp is so fun. And then her child came home and was so upset and said, Mom, why can't I go to Lego camp? But Lego camp was summer school, and they're supporting ELA and math and all of these really important concepts, while really enticing and getting kids excited about coming to school and playing with Lego. We use play very seriously. Play is important at LEGO Education if it is really yielding that high levels of learning and that high interest. And, play is awesome. We love play, but play matters if students are able to learn at high levels. And what we are seeing is that that is happening across our schools, but definitely at Portland Public Schools. Also, something that is additionally really exciting is that depending on where you're at, it can be very difficult for teachers to agree to teach and stay on for summer school. Yes, they're getting paid for it, but they want their break. They don't want to feel like they're having to participate in something that is not prepared for them and that there's a ton of extra planning time, etc. What they noticed was that it was previously difficult to recruit teachers for their summer school programs. I would say that would have been the same for 2023, although a little bit easier once they had said, oh, we're going to be using Lego Education Solutions. Once they trained teachers and then they started summer school, teachers were saying, can I ensure that I can do this next year? Can you let me know now that I can be on the list for next year? I want to be teaching summer school for 2024. I'm so excited. And then now other teachers want to teach it as well, that they have a wait list. That's incredible to me that they have a wait list for summer 2024 already for summer school. It's a great problem to have. And they have teachers who are now trained who are saying, I want to use this in the core classroom. Can I get some additional sets? Or can we be using the sets for summer school for opportunities in my classroom? And then the next part is I wish that we had some achievement data to share, but they were just so focused on attendance that now they're saying, okay, this is great. We know that kids are coming. Let's really be thinking about what that robust measurement tool is to be collecting this, really valuable data. So just one snapshot from Portland Public Schools. We have some other success stories from across the country, including in Texas, that we would love to share with you. Had an absolutely amazing time in Houston ISD last summer. They had a really robust STEAM camp that they put on, many different opportunities available to you. Just want to take a quick pause. So appreciate all the listening that you're doing. There are so many different customizable ways to support summer school specifically. And so I get very excited to talk about what those are. All right, my slides want to move ahead. So let's get into it. The Lego Learning System. When you are hearing me say Lego Solutions, what does that mean? What is available? Well, first, these are our different solution components. So we have our unit plans and our lesson plans, which are available to you right now at any time on legoeducation.com. So you can work through any of those lesson plans or unit plans and take a look at them. Next, we have both our early learning and our elementary and secondary bricks. So all of the parts and pieces. At Lego, we call those bricks. And so all of the different modalities that you are using to support the learning. And then finally, if you are using a digital component, the intelligent hardware encoding that you would be using is our final component. And of course, we can never forget the foundation of professional development and teacher training. Our solutions are as strong as the teachers that are in front of students. And we know that with the right training and support, that can be any teacher. And they get so excited and feel so empowered to really support students. And we often see with teachers will say, ooh, I'm not sure, okay, that there's a lot of bricks there, I don't really know. And then after they've been trained and onboarded, they're like, oh, not only am I excited, I'm empowered to do this, and I find that I have so much extra time to progress monitor and support students individually because I'm not really managing my class. They're working in peers, they are fully engaged, they know how to work through the intuitive system, they know how to troubleshoot, and I'm able to really watch my students in action, understand where I can support them, understand where I can push them, and I'm not doing all of this material supporting that I thought I was going to have to do. So we always want to make sure that our solutions are providing a continuum of learning. Now, does that mean that you need to buy into the entire continuum? Not necessarily. You can buy any one of our solutions and students can use them in really valuable ways. And we want to make sure that when we do put solutions in front of students, there is the opportunity to have a K-12 continuum that builds upon itself. And that starts with early learning. And that includes both digital and non-digital enabled materials. So this is our digital solutions offering. It starts with Coding Express. That is our early ed option. And that really puts into play and puts into motion the concept of coding for early learning. So you have a track, you have a train. That train has a special sensor that actually reads colors. And then you're putting your colored tiles on the track, and those tiles are then dictating what the train does. Is the train stopping? Is it reversing? Is it making a sound? Is it putting its lights on? And so as a student, I'm realizing when I do this, when I put a tile down, I can then dictate what the train does. And I can change what the outcome of this scenario is. And I can dictate it. So that is our early learning offering. Many different lessons within there, and both a app version as well as a non-app version. Then you go into both Spike Essential and Spike Prime. Spike Essential is for 1st through 5th grade, recommended, and Spike Prime is 6th grade on up. This comes with our intelligent hardware, our hubs, our sensors, all of the different things that you need to do to create your build and then to make that build move. We're going to, in a few slides here, we're going to see a short video that will show you some of those builds. And all of these are individual lessons that provide the foundation for here's how you use this sensor. Here's how you use this motor. Here's how you code to make it change and to make it move. Spike Essential, like I said, that's elementary. So a little simpler of a concept for students. And then when you graduate on to Spike Prime, there are some additional options. The hub has more inputs for it so that you can have more movement, more color sensing going on, lights, etc. And I would say that the bricks are a little more elevated as well. Then we have our non-digital solutions. So this is still technology that students are using, but it does not include a digital component. So this is really where we are focusing on physical science and friction, force of motion, etc. Lots of movement. It's just not operated by a camera or by a digital component. It is force and motion. It is gravity, things like that. And so we start at Steam Park, which is our STEAM amusement park, which has many different options and opportunities for students at an early learning level to be learning about ramps and gravity and how gears work and how things that I'm weighing can determine how something is going to move or shift. Then we move on to BrickQ Motion Essential, which again, the essential is that 1st through 5th grade. And then BrickQ Motion Prime, which is that 6th through 8th grade and on. The concepts get more elevated, the concepts get more complex. But with the continuum, they all build upon itself. Just a reminder that, hi Allison, just a reminder that our elementary solutions are those essentials and our secondary solutions are those prime. And we always suggest that it's at a ratio of 1 to 2 students. With the exception of our early learning, we say that that is really a 4 to 1 ratio. But when you're getting into our elementary and secondary options, that ratio should really be 1 to 2. So there's no opportunity to opt out. That's especially important because when I'm thinking about students that are maybe in some special programming or may need some extra supports, we don't want to give them the opportunity to be left out of the learning. And that just happens at times naturally. If there's 3 of us in a group and I'm an English-speaking student and there's another English-speaking student with us, and then there's a student who just got here from El Salvador, we might just start talking in English and figuring out the lesson. And we don't want there to be any opting out. We want to ensure that students are working lockstep together, because when there's just two of them and they need each other, that's when that really rich learning happens, and there's no opting out. Everybody's involved. So let's talk about the progression of learning. This is just a reminder. Like I said, we start with those action bricks, where we are realizing when I put down an action brick, now I can predict the outcome of something that's going to happen. Then in elementary, now we're getting into coding, and we're using icon blocks, and we are dragging them and realizing, okay, when I put these icons together, now I can create a chain reaction and an outcome of how my build is going to move and do different things. When I'm ready to graduate on from icon blocks, and this can be different in the classroom, you could have a group of students that are still working on icon blocks, and another who are working on, they've now graduated up to word blocks, and I'm using word blocks. All of these are all in a continuum of having students building that rich foundation for pre-Python and Python coding. And that is the coding that coders are using, that people in post-secondary and post-college settings are using. And students can be using those in 8th grade, in 6th grade. And so that is where we are headed the entire time. So let's see it in action.
Our students deserve authentic hands-on learning experiences.
It definitely does not feel like school, but we are definitely learning.
Now is the time to be bringing joy back to learning.
Students have to connect with what they're learning, and through joy, they'll have meaningful experiences that will stay with them.
I love playing with Legos, I love coding, so when you get to put those together, it's literally a dream come true. And then adding the factors that you get to work with other people, it was awesome.
If they feel joy, they are intrinsically motivated. They're feeling more confident in themselves.
Lego has a mission to transform the way kids learn.
This is something that I've always wanted to put in the hands of our students.
When it comes to computer science, the coolest thing is to see the multiple ways that someone can solve a problem.
For us, Lego Education was a natural fit. It has that familiar name of Lego, and it allows the students to access it at any level.
I can't put into words how appreciative I am that I got to do this with them.
STEAM belongs everywhere, in the school day, out of the school day, at home.
I think every school should do it. It's a great way to learn. It's a great way to have fun. It's a win-win.
I love that video. And then finally, like I said, our foundation is professional development. So we have a few different options and opportunities that are available to you. The first is our customer success program. You are automatically a part of this program when you invest in our solutions. So this is a free program that teachers can sign up for. It has video tutorials about how to use our solutions. There's community access of additional resources, getting additional resources not only from Lego Education, but from other educators. There are a number of community webinars that we have, opportunities to sign up to be an ambassador, many different really great, rich opportunities to really plug into our community. From there, this is a separate purchase, and I did tell you, when you purchase our solutions, you're ready to go. And you don't need to have any other expenses that you need to be aware of, unless you are wanting to do additional professional development. And so we want to talk through what those options are right now. The first would be a hands-on workshop where we have an incredible Lego trainer. They would come in, get your teachers fully trained. And what does that mean? That means that not only are they feeling really confident around the lessons and the content, but they're also feeling super confident around, okay, I have these 15 tubs of bricks in my classroom now, and students have a device. How is this seamless? How is this possible? How am I doing this in a way that is making me as an educator not overwhelmed and feeling like I'm having to monitor so many different things? So they lead them through not only the that piece of being able to support it internally from a pieces and bricks point of view, but then also how to really support those high level lessons. And we can do that through 6 hours of in-person training. And that can look a number of different ways, depending on how much professional development you're wanting to offer and how big of the scope of your summer school you're supporting. And then additionally, we have virtual coaching. So what you might do is say, okay, I want to come in, I want to have all my teachers trained, that's great. But then 6 weeks later, my teachers have questions around specific things with lessons, or they want to just even they want support to even bring it to the next level now that they've gotten the opportunity to get more comfortable. We don't need someone to come back in for 6 hours and give them a whole training. We could have a 2-hour, spot check of, let's go ahead and invite you to come in for an hour or two, get your questions asked. Maybe we could have a specific focus on a lesson that teachers are wanting support with. We really customize this based on what your needs are. So again, just many different options to support sites and teachers on some different wonderings that they have, or some different training needs that they would have around making sure that they're using our solutions as best as possible. So just want to, again, revisit those priorities that the state of Texas has, that then your district also has. So recruiting, supporting, and retaining teachers and principals. We want to be creating a really great ecosystem for teachers and staff to be supporting students through summer school. We want to build that foundation of reading and math, not only through the solutions that you're using, but we want to make sure that students are there to make sure that they're getting this really high level learning that you've been planning. So building that foundation of reading and math, connecting to high school. There you are with LEGO Education Solutions, you are giving them the opportunity to be able to not only build that reading and math and really build those other content areas, but you are giving them firsthand experience with coding and working with others. And those are skills, hard skills and soft skills, that they're going to need to be successful in the future. And I think to myself, holy cow, had I been given the opportunity to code when I was in high school or college, it would have just opened up so many more doors for me. And then also improve low performing schools. I'm going to connect this back to that attendance. How that is such a big job in itself, but it can't occur unless students are there in the classrooms. So how are we enticing, motivating, getting kids excited, not only excited, but proud to come to summer school? And then from there, how are we putting solutions in front of them that are connecting to high school, that are building those foundations, and that are creating a really good parity between the student and teacher relationship and how we as a community are really supporting that rich summer school experience. With that, we are going to be talking even more about how to design different innovative summer camp opportunities next week with Lauren, who's here today. So next Tuesday and next Thursday, Lauren is going to be sharing with us how you can design those innovative summer camps for your school site. So definitely put that on your radar, and please join us if that is of interest to you. And with that, we just want to thank you so much for joining us. That was so much listening. Lots of good information. I'm going to go ahead and stop presenting so that you are just seeing, I think, me. Can I get a confirmation on that, Lauren?
Yes, all set.
Okay, awesome. Oops. Okay, so would love to, first and foremost, thank you so much for joining us today. We know that maybe school was not happening for you, so maybe it was a little easier for you to join us or more difficult. Thank you for your time. You are absolutely not going to offend us if you decide to hop off right now. You know how to reach out to us based on the invite that you would have gotten for this webinar. Additionally, I will be sending PDF files of this presentation to both Allison and Lauren so that they can get this information to you if you'd like it. And I just want to open it up now for any specific questions that anybody might have that we can answer. Okay, let's see. Feel free to put it in the chat. Feel free to unmute. Feel free to show me your face, although absolutely not mandatory.
I think the settings are actually going to prevent people from unmuting. So if anyone does have a question, just feel free to drop it in the chat and we'll read it aloud.
Oh, perfect. Thank you for that clarification, Lauren. I'm not seeing any questions come through. I also realize that it takes a while to, formulate your question, type it in. So we're gonna be on here for a little bit more. We're gonna wait a few more minutes. But if you have gotten all the information that you are seeking, feel free to pop off. You by no means have to leave. We're here to answer any questions that you have. And yeah, don't be shy, because some questions that you have, somebody else might have. Oh, Miss Bright is raising her hand. If you can unmute Miss Bright, go ahead and ask your question. If you can't, go ahead and type it in the chat and we'll make sure that we get that answered. Oh, I can allow Mike. Okay, so I just allowed Mike for you, Miss Bright. If you want to unmute, I think you can go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I wanted to ask, is there a price differences for each of those components, especially the digital one for the summer? And does it come with the professional development for the teachers?
Great question. So there is a price difference between our digital and non-digital technology. So that the Spike Essential, Spike Prime, and our Coding Express, those are more expensive than our BRQ is because of the intelligent hardware that you're additionally, that's a part of that set. With the professional development, the customer, and your account manager can absolutely walk you through what all the differences are in those price points. With the professional development of that 6-hour training where they would come in and support teachers for the full day, that is not included in the purchasing of the solutions. What is included is all the bricks and pieces that you need, all of the lessons and units that you need, the access to the app that you need. All of that is included. The professional development is separate because we make sure it's exactly what you need, and it may not look the same for every district. The customer success program, though, that is included just in the purchasing of the product. So all of your teachers and staff will be able to go into that customer success program where there are tutorials, et cetera, that they can use. And that's where they can additionally get support for how to do the lessons. We would never say, oh, just do the customer success and you're going to be all ready to go, because it can be a little bit more complex than that. And there's a difference between being a part of the customer success and going through a 6-hour training. But that's certainly up to your school site on what is going to meet your needs. And you can talk through that more in depth with your account manager as well.
Also, is the lessons broke down, like, if we have like maybe a 6-week summer program, is the lesson 10 weeks, 5 weeks, 4 weeks?
Great question. So the lessons themselves are broken up into unit plans on the website. So on the website, it'll say, here's a unit plan, here's the lessons. Additionally, we have, so if your school site was saying, okay, we want to kind of create our own scope and sequence for how we're going to do that, awesome. If not, and you already know, oh, I'm doing a 6-week summer camp program, that's where you would connect with your account manager and they would loop me in and we'd say, okay, great, you need a 6-week summer camp program? We've got you. Here's our curriculum that already has all of our lesson plans laid out for you over a 6-week option. So that's something that we can definitely work with you individually. We don't just put all of our camps online because we want to make sure that we're getting you the one that's going to meet your needs the best, but none of that is an extra cost. That's just a matter of us talking with you, understanding exactly what you need, and then giving you exactly what it is you need instead of you having to sift through a bunch of things. So that was a lot of information, but we've got you. It just really depends on what exactly you're looking for so we can get you that specific match.
And also, when you say bricks, those are the little pieces that they put together, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you.
Sorry, Lego terminology, but yes, pieces, plastic, those are our bricks. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Miss Bright. I see Julian said, I don't have access to coming up. I am starting Lego engineering next week. What type of Lego components would you recommend for 3rd through 5th grade students? So, because engineering covers so many different skills, I actually would need more information from you, Julian, to determine whether we would want to use the digital versus non-digital component based on what skills you're working on in that engineering. If you're really wanting to focus on creating a build that you are then coding to make it move, I would suggest our Spike offering, which is Spike Essential, and then Spike Prime. I would suggest Spike Essential for 3rd through 5th, and then 6th through 8th, they would use that Spike Prime. If you're not looking for the digital component and you'd prefer the technology that is non-digital, which is, we have a lot of bricks that are weighted. So you're creating different levels of gravity and motion, still engineering components, just not digital. I would suggest our BrickQ Motion offering. And for 3rd through 5th, that would be BrickQ Motion Essential. And then for 6th through 8th, it's BrickQ Motion Prime. Hopefully
okay, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, hi, Julian.
Okay, awesome. Yes, so you said BrickQ? You said BrickQ? Is that how it's spelled, like brick and then Q?
BrickQ Motion, which speaks to movement, just not movement with digital technology. It's more like gravitational movement and physical science components. That would be our BrickQ offering, and that would be the BrickQ Essential would be for 1st through 5th grade.
Okay,
and that does come at a lower price point.
Thank you.
Caitlin says, hi, other Caitlin. Do you have a sample summer school scope and sequence for elementary? I have a full year scope and sequence built. I wanted to be able to compare the two. Great question. We have some samples that the account managers have that they can send to you. If what they send to you for whatever reason is not exactly what you're looking for, then let's just talk offline. I believe you have an email. You and I have been connected through email before, and you, Kim, and I can talk through exactly what it is you're looking for, and I could send you some stuff for sure.
Sounds awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Lauren.
So I am on the website looking at some of these sets. So I just want to make sure I'm clear. Like, for example, on the Spike Essential Kit for grades 1 through 5, it says it's $319.95, and you're saying I would need, it would be $319 for 2 kids. So every 2 kids, I would need an additional kit, right? Like
every additional kid, you would need a kit.
Okay.
And part of my job could be to support you, not that you couldn't figure it out on your own, but to support you with options for how we can make that work. If you're saying, I have 500 kids I want to serve, I can't afford 250 sets, let's talk about that, because you wouldn't necessarily need to purchase that. You could buy one class set for 2 classrooms, and one could be using it in the morning, one could be using it in the afternoon. So there's a number of different, options that we could talk through that are totally viable.
Okay, so like for that one example, for the Spike Essential, they're not building something that they'll need to have again that they can't take apart for the next day, right? Because like I've had a STEM lab before, and they did projects that were kind of ongoing, and so we had to purchase enough for every kid so that they could continue on.
I appreciate that question because that's super important. Yes and no. So our lessons are designed, our individual lessons are designed to be able, most of them are with a 45 to 50 minute time range. Some of them can go longer, but you can take them apart and put them back together over a few days. The only caveat I would have to that is how you're setting up your summer school. So there are some sites that say we don't want them to take apart their build. We want them to be able to leave it up and then not take it apart. That would be something that you would have to think through as your own site. However, our builds, especially our lesson builds, it's really only taking them maybe between 10 and 15 minutes to create that build. And then after they've done it one time, if they're returning back, if they happen to be returning back to that lesson the next day, which is not always the case, they're able to get that build done quickly and they're not having to leave it. A caveat I would have is that all of our lessons, and this is a Caitlinism, all of our lessons are providing that foundation. And in our summer camps, a lot of our culminating projects are students actually building original builds that they're using all these foundational skills that they've learned. And now a problem is being presented to them and they are building an original build and coding for it. Incredible. I'm wondering, yes, they could build it, make notes, put it away, and rebuild it the next day. That's totally possible. Your site might determine we want to do that a different way because we don't want students to have to do that. We want them to be able to build it, return to it. So it really just depends, what your site can support. And I'm happy to be a part of that conversation to pull from other things that we've done to kind of support you through that. But absolutely something that's each site would have to determine for themselves. And we're here to support you with how that can happen in a way that is fiscally responsible and is meeting the needs that you have for your students.
Okay, thank you. And is there a difference? Like I'm looking at this Spike Essentials class pack. Did those have all the same components that were in those, like the individual one that's 319?
I believe I might want to bump this one over to Allison, but I believe that, yes, it's just putting it into a classroom pack that's ready to go. And then I think there might be a little bit of a cost savings there. But yes, yes. So, I mean, a huge cost savings, that's what I meant. But yes, the Brick Essential, whatever kit you're seeing, if it says it's the kit, they're all the same. They're all a complete set.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
And who was that just speaking?
Christy.
Okay, Christy. Christy, which district are you from?
I'm in Rockport Fulton, which is down on the coast.
Okay, so I think, the best thing is we just want to connect you with the right account manager here in Texas. And I'm not sure exactly who that is. I have Dallas and North Texas and Central Texas, so I know it's not me. But it might be Kim, it might be Lauren. We'll connect you with the right person because that's something we can consult with. And, just depending on how many you need, we do have a class pack that's on our website, but we can also design class packages for you and add some PD in there. We do have the ability to look at volume discounting and things like that. So we just want to make sure we connect you with the correct account manager so that you can work one-on-one on those details.
Thank you.
I just want to put a little shout out to everybody that had questions and also people who didn't have questions. We are literally the people who are in Texas here to support you. So we're not doing, like me, for example, as a solution architect, I am not presenting this and then you never see or hear from me again. Let's get an email. I can support your account manager and you to making sure that whatever your vision is for your summer school, that we're supporting you get as close to that as possible. And so this is your team that is here to support you, boots on the ground. And we are excited to have this relationship with you and support you in ways that we can. Let's see. I know we heard from Christy. Oh, Miss Bright, your hand is raised. I don't know if that was from before or if you had a new question.
Sorry, that was from
You're all good. It's hard to remember to put that hand down. You're totally fine. I just want to make sure we didn't miss a question. All right, I'm going to hand it over to the person that's in charge, Allison. I'm here. I'm happy to, I have nowhere to be, but I want to hand it over to you. And whatever you're thinking, if we want to wait on for a little bit more, if we want to wait for some more questions, if we're going to wrap it up, it's all you, girl.
Sure. Well, once again, we're just so thrilled that you all chose to spend your time with us here this morning. And again, our account managers for Texas who are here to help you. I'm in the frozen tundra this morning of Dallas-Fort Worth, and most of our schools are closed today. And I have Central Texas. And then Kim Kieschnick, she's not on our call, but she lives in Houston, and she has Houston, South Texas, and parts of West Texas. And then Lauren Russell, she is on our call today. Lauren has all of our Texas schools that are under 6,000 students. And then we also have Stephanie on today, and she supports our private and parochial. So in addition to Caitlin, we have specific account managers. We are here to help you. We're here to consult with you. We want to make sure that you end up with the right solution that meets your needs to have an amazing and innovative summer school this year. So we're going to go ahead and sign off since we've answered all of your questions, but feel free to contact any of us. Maybe we'll just all drop our emails in the chat real quick, and you can pick the one that makes the most sense for you to contact. And if you're not sure, we will get in touch with you. So there's my email. Stephanie's putting hers in. Lauren can probably drop hers in. We'll direct you to the right person. But we're just so grateful for your time this morning. Stay warm wherever you are and have an amazing rest of your week.